Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have now the honor to invite Her Excellency Dr. Vjosa Osmani Sadriu to deliver her address. Madam President.
Madam President of the Swiss Confederation, dear Karen, Dr. Keller, honorable members of the Federal Council, distinguished guests, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. On behalf of the people of the Republic of Kosovo and the delegation accompanying me in this historic visit, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your warm and generous welcome, as well as the deeply respectful words about the people of Kosovo and about my country. We both witnessed the warm welcome by Kosovars and others in Switzerland from so many nations, because there is so much that we admire about Switzerland, and there is so much that we aspire to learn from Switzerland. What makes Switzerland stand out is its remarkable political culture, defined by a spirit of cooperation, a strong commitment to inclusive decision-making, and a continuous thoughtful dialogue with all of its citizens. In this spirit, I'd like to take a moment to highlight a particularly powerful line from the preamble of the Swiss Constitution, as you would expect from a lawyer. And I quote, "And in the knowledge that only those who use their freedom remain free, and that the strength of a people is measured by the well-being of its weakest members." End of quote. This single sentence reflects two of Switzerland's most enduring values: liberty on one side and solidarity on the other. These are not mere constitutional phrases. These are lived principles, principles that define the very character of this nation. And it is this very spirit that made the people of Switzerland and this wonderful country stand with the people of Kosovo in our most difficult hours and also in our most hopeful moments. Just as Switzerland once offered refuge to minds like Albert Einstein and Thomas Mann, as well as to a young girl from Prague named Madeleine Albright, who then became the US Secretary of State, it became a powerful advocate for Kosovo's freedom. And so did hundreds of thousands of my fellow Kosovars find shelter here during the darkest hours in our history. It is here in Switzerland that many of Kosovo's freedom efforts found both protection and support. We will never, ever forget that. Kosovo will forever remain grateful to Switzerland and to all the people of Switzerland. Today, hundreds of thousands of people of Kosovar origin live in this wonderful country. Out of difference, we have built common ground. We have broken barriers, and we have built common dreams. Together, we have forged a unique partnership, rich in friendship and rich in people-to-people ties. The sons and daughters of those who once arrived as workers and refugees are now doctors and engineers, artists and entrepreneurs. They're building lives of purpose. They're strengthening their communities here in Switzerland. And every single day, they help drive the prosperity of their new home, Switzerland. Now, oftentimes, they also score goals, epic goals, that is. And I imagine that Minister Beat Jans, who I hear is an unwavering supporter of FC Basel, might agree with me when I say that without Xherdan Shaqiri, Basel may not have clinched that championship the other day. Now, I'm not Swiss, and I really do not meddle in domestic affairs, but on this one, I just couldn't help myself. And would this really qualify as a proper speech if we didn't talk a little about football? After all, the only time in our football history when Kosovo fans were equally supporting both teams in a match that took place in Pristina, and when they were equally cheering for goals by both sides, one with our national team was actually playing against Switzerland, or to rather say with Switzerland. I'd say that this was a true testament to this very special relationship between our people and our countries. And as I speak of stories of success, let me take a moment to speak directly to every citizen of origin from Kosovo who came here to Switzerland. No matter your profession, your background, or the size of your platform, be a force for good, a living example of what positive integration looks like. Because living in this country isn't just a privilege, it's also a responsibility to uphold and to build on the values and institutions that have made Switzerland admired all around the world. The Kosovars who live here have made us proud in every area. And I'd like to especially speak to the women who came from Kosovo to this country, and tell them how proud they make me every single day with their resilience, their compassion, their contribution to Switzerland and to Kosovo through outstanding achievements in every walk of life. Because it is only by making sure that gender equality becomes a reality that we will ensure that our societies thrive. And in this cause, I will always be your biggest ally. And I know that you, Madam President, are a staunch ally of this cause and a strong supporter too. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, every nation needs support. Every nation, no matter how big or small, needs friends. Every democracy needs partners and allies. And in Kosovo, we are profoundly grateful for Switzerland's steadfast support that has helped guide our democratic journey and elevate our voice in the international stage. Switzerland's voice was clear very, very early on, because when it became the very first country in Europe, through President Kalmire at that time, to openly speak that the only solution that would bring long-term peace and stability to our region is independence, freedom, and self-determination for Kosovo. At that time, it was only Switzerland saying that. But Switzerland did not stop with that. It helped us increase that support, a support that did not end with mere statements. You supported us in our state-building process and in rebuilding our country, which rose from the ashes of a horrendous war. Therefore, I want to especially express our gratitude to the men and women of Swisskoi who have served with honor in NATO's peacekeeping mission in Kosovo since 1999. Their presence is so much more than just symbolic. It's a living testament to Switzerland's enduring commitment to peace. Because peace, freedom, democracy, these values do not sustain themselves. They never happen by accident. They require sacrifice. They require continuous effort. They require vigilance. They must be defended, especially in times of uncertainty and aggression, as Europe is facing today. And the values that we share, the values that bind our two countries and our people, can only endure if we stand together. So on this special day, I really look forward to exchanging ideas with Switzerland's leadership, to engaging with visionary business leaders, and also to connecting with the vibrant members of our diaspora who have made this beautiful country their home. Kosovo may be a young republic, but we are a determined one, a functioning, consolidated democracy, open to the world and ready to partner with Switzerland across every field, political, economic, cultural, and yes, even in the football pitch. But more than that, we are here to listen, to learn, to grow from the Swiss experience. because we know that progress doesn't come from pride alone. It comes from humility, from curiosity, and from collaboration. And in that sense, one of Kosovo's biggest blessings in its history has been precisely the fact that it had partners and friends by its side, from Switzerland and many others in Europe, and all the way to the United States. You have stood with us through thick and thin, and the gratitude of the people of Kosovo will always remain unwavering. We are a young, dynamic, multilingual society thriving in the digital era, full of energy and eager for the future. And to Swiss investors, let me say this: you are welcome to Kosovo. In every town and in every village, you will find open doors and open hearts and an enormous potential. Don't be surprised if in one village you're greeted in the Bernese dialect, and in the next in the tones of Eastern Switzerland. That's not a translation glitch, that's appreciation. Appreciation for you who became their home when they were kicked out of their ancient homes. Our two countries share more than geography. We do share a continent, but also a sense of destiny. So perhaps Max Frisch felt that too when he visited Kosovo as a young man in 1933. Nearly a century later, one thing hasn't changed: our hospitality. It endures, and it's something that binds us together. Thank you so much for this great honor, Madam President, members of the Federal Council. To the people of Switzerland and all of the people of Kosovar and Albanian origin who greeted us today alongside so many others that came from around the world. Above all, thank you for your friendship, a friendship for Kosovo that is going to resist time because it is built on the strongest of values. Thank you so much for having me.